And now, for your delectation, Books Unplugged would like to present Factotum.
Here now, Books Unplugged. Books Unplugged. Adaptation for your delectation. Now, Books Unplugged. Here with Ed and Dan. Books Unplugged. Page to screen and in between. Books Unplugged. Which would you destroy?
Hi, I'm Ed.
I'm Dan.
Welcome to Books Unplugged, the show where we find movies that have been made from books and we discuss the synergy tweens to them. Today, we're taking a look at Factotum by Charles Bukowski. Factotum is the story of a man who drinks and works to become a writer.
And quits jobs.
Gets fired. Does he quit any of them?
Sometimes he quits.
Okay, he works lots of jobs. Lots of jobs.
Uh-huh.
It's close to my heart because I am a man who formerly drank and worked lots of jobs.
Yeah, we've had lots of jobs.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. Drinking.
My favorite job that you had is you quit that restaurant job when the other chef wouldn't show up and the owner was yelling at you and you're like, screw this, I leave. And you were like the prep cook and I was like the nighttime dinner cook.
Yeah.
You come home and you're like, I quit and got a job at a gas station on the way home.
And then the boss called me and was like, don't worry about it, just come back to work. I was like, I got a job already.
Yeah.
He's like, you got a job already? Well, yeah, I got a job already. I'm working at a gas station.
And then I got a job a couple of days later at another gas station, but we drank all night that day.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did drink a lot that day.
But let's get into Factotum.
But real quick,
Yeah.
I just want to say the manager of that place, his name was Tom. And screw you, Tom. I hope you're watching. Screw you.
Yeah.
Now we can move on.
Okay,
now we can move on.
Books Unplugged. Adaptation for your delectation. Now,
What do you love about either the book or the movie? What's your major, one thing? If you
My
got one
major,
choice.
my major love, and it's going to be about the book, and it's Bukowski. I mean, you're reading that book, and you feel like he's just sitting there telling it to you.
It's just telling it straight, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the first time also that I've read a book where I'm pretty sure it's the first time in any book I've read about a guy masturbating to like the woman across the street, or wiping his junk off on the sheet after sex.
Yeah,
you know?
it's gritty,
and,
man. It's as gritty as it gets.
Yeah, it's just those type of descriptions you just don't get in other books.
No, you don't.
You're not going to get it from Steinbeck.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, not anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore,
My
yeah.
major love is pretty similar to yours. The style, the speed, the stripped down nature. He strips it down so much that you feel like it's true. You know what I mean? Like 100%. It just feels very true to life.
Yeah.
Even though you can tell he's using metaphor, everything's so stripped out behind it that there's no. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a beautiful writer because at times he really is, but. You get distracted by just it's short sentences, simple words, telling a story. This is what happened. This is where we went. This is what I did, and you miss what he's actually doing. The greater picture really is a
because like
world
before
that he's
you know
creating.
it, you're like 50, 60 pages in, and you're just like, whoa! What did I just went through like so much stuff.
Okay, little things. I don't have many in this one.
Right, our
so
speed
we're gonna
round.
easily make it to 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
on the clock.
All right. I love right off the bat, he quits a job and then takes a lower paying job. It just sets the bar right there.
Yeah, that's
you know?
nice. I love the pacing, the speed of it. Like the pacing, there's a ton of chapters. They're quick. You just burn through it. It's easy read.
I love how he describes all these jobs as terrible, exhausting, and below him. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like,
And other people see it.
yeah.
Other people feel like he thinks he's above them, and he's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? I mean, he clearly does.
Yeah.
But he doesn't see. He seems to think nobody should notice that he thinks he's better than pretty much everybody.
Right.
I'm gonna do two in a row.
Okay.
I hate that there's not enough women and misogyny in the movie,
Yeah.
and I hate all the misogyny in the book.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like there's a balance that there's like he really is not very nice to women. let's quiz each other. I think you should go first.
Handwriting his stories. Was it in the book?
That's in the book.
Yeah, that's how I did it. Legal pad, just
handwriting his stories.
scribbling
Absolutely.
away.
Was it in the book? I've probably slept more than you've been alive. The old man.
I'm going to say probably it sounds like something Bukowski would say, or Chinansky.
It's not in the book.
No, okay.
Just made it up. Just made it up. The director pisses me off. I don't know. I hope you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm irritated.
The boss calls him in to meet his writer friend.
Yeah, that's in the book.
That's
in the book. That's great. Pancakes.
Oh, making pancakes?
Making pancakes.
Making crappy pancakes.
Making crappy pancakes.
Yes, that's in the book.
It's in the book. Pancakes, they're not pancakes. It's flour and water that they fry in a pan.
Because they just care about their jugs of wine.
It's jugs of wine, and they eat pancakes that are flour and water. I mean, that's not
terrible shits in the morning.
That's not a pancake. You need baking soda and eggs and stuff. So yeah, that's in there.
Hooking up with Marissa Tomei's character in the bar through his drink, like, I get this lady a drink, and then he's like,
"That's my last drink."
That's my last drink.
That's almost verbatim.
And he goes home with her, which is great.
And he ends up sleeping with both her friends. Sleeping with.
Oh, we're just cuddling here.
He's awful. He's so awful. Anyway, he's like a superhero of awfulness. Is the broken clock in the book? The broken clock, where he's like, okay, we know
he's got to figure it out. Yes,
35 minutes to it's in the book.
That's it. Because he does like a whole train thing or whatever, following the plane.
He does a math. It's ridiculous. And then when she kicks him out of the house, he takes the clock with her because she doesn't know how to read it anyway.
Yeah.
That's not in the movie. Hitting
bumps to turn the headlights on. Because the car he has.
It is, absolutely. It's in the book. Yeah. That's in the book. You got anything else?
Oh, let's see. I had the crazy math in there. Was in the book. Waking up in the apartment, and there's a fire going on. And he sees that there's a fire. Everyone's leaving the apartment, and he just shuts the door and goes back to bed because they're just too drunk.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally, exactly as it is.
Books Unplugged.
Should have been there is, in the book, music plays a huge role. Yeah. And it's very specific music. He talks about the songs he's listening to and all that kind of stuff, and they didn't translate. I think that would have been, to take the music out of the book and use it for the soundtrack would have made a lot of sense, and they did not.
Yeah.
So I just think that should have been there. I think that would have been cool to actually be listening to what he's listening to.
Well, because they made the movie present day and not.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't listening to he was listening to 100-year-old music then too. So I mean, it's he was a classical music fan. I think it would have been cool to have a classical music soundtrack.
My should have been there.
Should have been there, man.
Was I forget where this was in the book, but he hooks up with a chick, or he doesn't hook up with her, but she's kind of forcing herself on him, and he says she's raping him. And
Martha.
And he'd feel bad if he came. He's
I wouldn't forgive myself. That's my best bit of the book. When he's like, I would not forgive myself if I come. Yeah. And then he hates it. And he hates every second. She's forcing herself on him. Yeah. And then he finishes, and he gives her $5, and she leaves. It's like, what world? This guy creates this world that's so twisted that kind of stuff. Anyway, it was great. That was my favorite. That was my favorite part of the book. There's a lot of. It's a pretty great book.
Books de boing, book and de boing, and books de boing.
Right. I'll get the picture.
Yeah. What were they thinking?
Now, the picture I have here, it's a little bit of a generic. What were they thinking? But I think
it's just a
picture of Chinansky, Matt Dillon.
It's a picture of him from Drugstore Cowboy, I think.
No, this is the Pickle Factory.
I'm kidding. Okay.
So we're going to be reading what Chinansky was thinking.
Well, his boss brings him into the office, and he knows that Chinansky's a writer, so he has a writer friend. And he brings Chinansky in to smoke cigars with the writer friend, and presumably talk about writing. Which they don't do. No. They just sit there in silence until Chinansky says, "Can I leave?" Anyway, I have too much background. Were they much more clever than I? The only difference was money and the desire to accumulate it. I'd do it too. I'd save my pennies. I'd get an idea. I'd spring a loan. I'd hire and fire. I'd keep whiskey in my desk drawer. I'd have a wife with size 40 breasts and an ass that would make a paperboy on the corner come in his pants when he saw it wobble. I'd cheat on her, and she'd know it. and keep silent in order to live in my house with my wealth? I'd fire men just to see the look of dismay on their faces. I'd fire women who didn't deserve to be fired.
That's what Chinanski
Was thinking while sitting there smoking his cigars and disgusted by men with... He's disgusted by men with more money, disgusted by men with less, disgusted by women, disgusted by everything.
Books, I need them unplugged, baby. Books, I need them unplugged now.
Best bit in the movie?
Movie or book?
Movie. Crabs, baby. Crabs. When she gives him the crabs, baby, and she wraps up him with his little red balls.
Yeah.
You might remember my rendition from the beginning of this video. It's
I love the delivery of it. You know?
And it's exactly like in the book, because the joke in that one is very jokey. Oh, you know, be careful. It might affect my tap dance. Like, oh God, it's so funny. It's like laugh out loud funny. So that's, for me, best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Best part of the book, I already told you, the Martha rape.
Yeah.
So all yours.
I have, mine is best part of the book. It's a couple of chapters, I think. It's covering when he's going to the racetrack. So they're leaving that job early, and then they got to race to the racetrack. And they do it so many times that patrons at the racetrack are expecting them and then are cheering them on as they're like running to try to cast that
There's
bet.
so many,
You know, and
so
they just do that so many times. Then he starts winning money. I liked it in the book way better than it was depicted.
Yeah.
They didn't show all of it, you know.
But
type
there
of
is
thing.
one great scene that is directly from the book too, where he's like, you know, women want to screw all the time, and he's like, well, you know, find a woman that likes to screw. He's like, yeah, but you know, then they, you know, they don't want you to drink, and he's like, well, find a woman that likes to drink, and he's like, well, you know, you don't want to, they don't want you to gamble, and he's like, well, find a woman who likes to drink, gamble, and screw, and he's like, who wants a woman like that? You know, it's just, and taking the bets from the guys.
Oh yeah, taking the bets. They don't know. They don't know how to bet.
You know, they never bet on the right horse. We'll take their money. We're not going to place their bets.
Yeah.
And then what is it? What if they bet on the same horse we have?
Yeah.
Well, we know we have the wrong horse. It's fantastic. So good.
Books Unplugged. Which would you destroy?
We're there.
You're going to destroy one.
Which would you destroy?
Yeah,
Ed?
the movie, man. Come on, that book is wonderful.
Yeah.
The movie's
Yeah.
fine. It's funny. But I mean,
You know,
if you're going to pick one, you got to read the book, man. I mean, it's so good.
I mean, I had tons of other favorite things. I mean, I love the fact that it's a short passage. He's like, we're drinking. It's not with Marissa Tomei. It's the other character. That actress, I forget her name, but she was awesome in it. She does a lot of independent movies. But anyways, they're drinking, they're partying, and they're all drunk. He's like, and somewhere within that night, we hear over the radio that World War II has ended. And then they just go right back to drinking.
There's nothing.
You know, or how he described women, all based on like how they had sex. It was a great lay, a lousy lay. She gobbled it, you know.
And she took it like a sword that was killing her.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it's just
again stuff that you just normally don't hear in books, and it doesn't come off as pretentious, but it just comes off as.
I mean, he's clearly a disturbed human being.
Yeah.
Like there's that, but like he's clearly disturbed, but he's so unashamed and makes the hero of himself.
Yeah.
So you go. It's weird. It's a weird world to be in.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, and all his books, he wrote out basically his whole life, you know. So as you get through his books, it's just they're all like that.
I'll say Chinanski is a character I'm not sure if I would want to have lunch with him.
Oh God, no.
You know, maybe a younger me would like to have lunch with him, but now I
he wouldn't want to have lunch with you.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't go anywhere near you, and I can't eat pancakes. With
Maybe
just
if I want a
flour and water.
sweepstakes that would allow me to have.
Yeah, if you were a woman, he would, but you wouldn't want to have lunch with him. Yeah, no, he's an anti-hero, I guess. I don't know what you'd call him. Don't want to get too, you know, what's the word we say that we don't want to do? Analyze. Analytic. We don't want to analyze too much.
But I could read Bukowski all day. I could read Ham on Rye, Post Office, any of those, Hollywood.
Ed and Dan would like to thank you for joining them on Books Unplugged, page to screen and all that's in between. If you like the vibe, please like and subscribe.
Like lazy and letting the boss walk over and stuff. He's like, come on. The movie.
Yeah, it's a great book.
This book is awesome. It's a good movie.
It's an okay movie.
It's a good movie. I mean, you're probably not going to read it anyway. He's laying there, slowly dying.
He doesn't positively describe anything.
Dabba-doo-babba-doo-ba.